Yeah, I was wondering when they would get to him eventually, and it seems that they eventually got to him since he's reluctant to engage now, since he's sort of you know following procedure. That's not how it started. When it started, it was one man, one idea, or men and their idea making a statement, and there are people with power and influence, and now you have now he has to do what the other guy did and stand with the hashtag ask me. I'm not sure, I'm just guessing here, uh, you know yeah, man. The movement got shut down as fast as it started, um, because I guess that the wording that was used was wrong. And the wording was wrong because not everybody can sort of like understand the context or figure out what's the meaning of it. I mean, the people that can do, but then there are others that don't, and it becomes nationwide chaos, and then they look for one head to cut off. I think you all know who I'm talking about, but that's that. But anyway, man, I support the cause, full time. I support the cause. I'm in it. Got nothing to lose, Anyway, the reason why I decided to make these videos, basically because why not, and also because I was harassed for like 2 months or so, just harassed. At the moment when I was very vulnerable, I was harassed, and when I tried to get help, the same people that are supposed to help me sort of judged me as a sort of character that they were told or thought I was, and they didn't help. They sort of just made things worse, and it was just a bad time for me. Um, Eventually, I started to sort of understand a lot of things that I didn't before. My mind became a little less foggy. you know a lot of people know me as the music guy, DJ, or the poor guy who can't pay la bola, or the guy that proposes and never goes through with it, or a lot of stuff, and none of this stuff is true, because all of this stuff is based on presumptions. And the lady's protecting herself, and it's all good. Protect yourself, you know because in the end it made me realize that there's a pride out there that sort of understands my place within the pride, who support me, and those who don't. And this pride supports an ideology of walking upright, right? It's I noticed the camera phones. I noticed that sometimes when I say certain things, they'll be taken out of context, and I might just say it on purpose so that it can be spread out there. But here I say what I say is as me. It's part of the reason why I'm making these videos. Even if no one watches them, I made the videos, and I'm expressing myself. And I'm expressing myself to things that matter to me. And it seems to me the things that matter to me, if I look at all the videos that I've done, that's my country. My country matters a lot to me. You understand? They say pride is a sin. If you're too proud, you might get disillusioned. And a lot of people have called me illusioned. disillusioned, that I am looking for fights where there are none. I know, I guess they are right, you know. All of those, what do they call? They call it the Silver City, the shanties that are outside Windhoek. You know, I guess I'm hallucinating all of that, you know. And I guess I'm hallucinating the fact that the mass housing project is mostly for middle income earners, not the low income earners. And in our country, the mid income earners, they actually earn a lot compared to the low income earners. So if we look at this gap three ways, you have the high income earners who are mostly businessmen or government elites, and then you have the mid income earners. You know, these are your clerks, your managers, you know, all those people. And then you have the low income earners. These are the people that pack rags. These are the people that are janitors, all those kind of people. This is a country of 2 million people where a janitor can't afford a home, only a shack. And people that study economics think this is justified, but it's a social crime. It's a social crime when you look at where we are right now, at the point where we are now in history, 24 years after independence. 24 years after independence, we shouldn't be celebrating independence. We should be applying independence. And independence is not being applied. It's not being applied, it's being celebrated once a year. If independence was applied, right, then the government would not be too scared to take on the debt of their people. You can use an age bracket and then family. Say a man this age who has a family deserves to have this house ABC, and the government assists. Right? That's social justice. We call it poverty, and I heard that there might be a poverty minister. But this is the thinking of the West, of the first world countries, the countries that have money in excess. This is their thinking. These countries, especially America, was built on capitalism. It was built on capitalism. We were not built on capitalism. The ideology that the ruling party first had was Marxist. But then their hand got twisted and they just had to adapt the system that they were given. Ne? But this also brought on a lot of restrictions, and these restrictions are beginning to show. I am telling you, we live in a country where it's okay for someone that works as a janitor at, say, the Ministry of Health, let's say the Ministry of Health, is seen as a lesser person because what they are doing is unimportant and they are easily replaceable. A human being, easily replaceable. You know, I watched a video where a man said, you know what, if they want, they should show me my grave, because the grave is famous. They should show me my grave so that I can go build my house there, because I can't afford land. So if people can't afford land, give them houses. Alright? But now the mass housing scheme wants to give houses to the mid-income earners, neglecting once again the low-income earners. And what happens? The system will just repeat itself. because there's no social justice. You know, people are desperate, and when people are desperate, they want something to happen immediately. And this something, you know, is mostly wants, right? It's mostly wants. Most people want wants more than the need. But then there are people who lack the needs, and we totally neglect those people. Most parties say that they are for the poor, but what are they doing for the poor? Me, a poor man, I have a plan that I want to set in motion to start up a soup kitchen. A soup kitchen so that the people don't have to go through the trash cans anymore to find old bread that they can have for breakfast, so that we can have the community instead the surplus of food that they don't need to give it to us, so that we can collect it, put it there for the homeless, the unemployed, and the hungry, so that they can go there, get their food, especially the kids, so that they can get the nutrition, because breakfast is very important, especially if you're young. Where are the soup kitchens? At schools, they used to have food at schools. Break time, the kids get pop or whatever they are given, but they had food. Today, that's not the case. How exactly are we winning? I don't get it. It completely confuses me. The organizations, the NGOs, and the .org organizations, all of those organizations, what are they doing to eradicate poverty? Poverty is the biggest threat to Namibia. Because if you want an uprising, keep people hungry, and I mean literally hungry. You know, people beg for $1 and $2 and so forth, and by the end of the day, he has enough to buy himself something to eat. Nah. But most of them are looked down upon because they are beggars. Apparently, they should be working. But then there are so many people that are looking for jobs. And this, I spoke to someone, and he told me that he gets $40 a day. Yeah? And he looked around everywhere. No one wants to employ him to work in the yard, you know, to rake the yard and so forth. So he gets $40 per day, and the rest he has to go and beg just to get something into his bed. His family can't help him because his family is also financially tied. And most of the families in our countries, right? Most of the families in our countries are living in tense environments. There's alcohol abuse, there's domestic abuse, and then there are little kids watching this, and the cycle continues, and we allow this. Where is the justice? Why isn't this being brought forward? Why is it that after someone dies, everybody cries, but while they were suffering when they were alive, no one batted an eye, not no one. And when you try to help people, you get warned, you know, or they get warned against you, that supposedly you're trying to capitalize on their suffering. How can someone capitalize on someone else's suffering? Are they a certain kind? Does it take a certain kind of person or a certain kind of qualification in order to help people? Is that what it takes? Because sympathy and empathy are not enough. I don't know. This is on my mind for now. So before I go on rambling about it, I'll just stop.